it's Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Today's question is, what is the difference between a sadist and an asshole? There are, unfortunately, jerks who circulate in kink spaces who essentially say, I'm a sadist, and so therefore you should put up with whatever crap I want to give you. I'm an actual sadist. I'm a sadomasochist, in fact, so I like receiving pain. I like giving pain. I also like role playing in like with degradation, with power dynamics, with all sorts of things like where they make me mean. They make like I love to be like the wicked queen or just a mean mistress. And so it's particularly frustrating for me, both as a person who goes out into these spaces looking for tops and a person who is a top in these spaces, when I encounter people who are frankly just abusing the system and people's lack of knowledge in order to take advantage of people. And I'd like to give you a list of some of the red flags for those kind of folks so that you can just choose not to play with them. First is consent. Consent is important. Negotiation is important. Now, I like in-depth, super detailed negotiations. You don't have to go that far, but it's important when you're approaching somebody who is a top that you're, or when they're approaching you, when you're having discussions about what you want to do together, that there be an understanding of consent and what you want to do, and that the conversation not be along the lines of well, I'm not sure I want to do that, and then the sadist or asshole says, "Oh, really? Well, I think you really should reconsider that opinion. You should really try it. You really absolutely should try it." The difference is somebody who is perhaps more of a mentor in that space might say, "Well, here's all the information that you need to make an informed decision. But if you don't want to, you don't want to. That's fine. Go the other way." I appreciate it when people talk about what they might want to do, and you can absolutely change your mind about what you want to do with more information. Not saying that's bad at all, but you should not feel in any way coerced into doing anything kinky or sexy or in any way. Don't let yourself feel coerced in any way. And if somebody feels coercive to you, then they're not the right top for you for that, for especially if you're first getting into this. They should also be talking to you about risks. So in any sadomasochistic exchange, there is somebody doing something to another person that could hurt them in some way, whether that's insults and degradation and hurt feelings or possible triggers, or whether that's potential hematoma from a strike against the body. So a top who, and especially a sadist who is enjoying the pain, should also be talking to you about what those risks are and about what they're watching out for, how you're going to safe word in the scene, what the safe words are, how they're going to communicate with you in that scene. They should never be telling you that you have to do something. And frankly, it should not be a situation where you feel like you owe your top anything because of things that they've said or done. Now, all sorts of feelings come up with this play. So I'm not saying you're not going to have feelings that come up that are like, oh, I owe them. But that requires examination. Because the point of S&M is not... it's a power exchange. It is getting off. It is pleasure. It is fun. It is play. It is sex. It is not obligation and requirements. So if a top is making you feel like you need to do what they say in order to have their respect, like IRL, like in real life, or like they did something nice for you, so you need to do something for them, that's a flag for me. And that'd be something to talk about, to look into in more detail, and to consider whether that's something you really want to do. Because for me, that would be a red flag. That would be a red flag, especially if, unless we're negotiating that scene. But that's not a beginner thing. That's not a meeting new people thing. That's it. Once you get into negotiation, you can break all the rules, as long as you can accurately communicate and effectively feel comfortable with your partner in doing that. But when you're first getting things set up, it's important that you find out whether this is a person you can trust. And things like honesty, integrity, lack of strings, those build trust. If a person is looking to take advantage of you, they might, for example, ask you for quid pro quo. And that's why that's a red flag. Same with sex. Nobody should require that you get them off because you get them off and that kind of thing. It's not really healthy. But it is. I mean, a lot of people do it, but I'm not a fan. Very much not a fan. Um, so bigger red flags. They should never confine you in any way that you do not consent to. Basically, nothing should happen to you that you don't consent to. Nothing should happen that you do not consent to. And you should be able to withdraw your consent at any time without incident or without issue. And frankly, if you withdraw consent and your top is not does not make that feel okay for you, then maybe that's not a good fit either. Because withdrawing consent is important. And yes, everyone has lots of feelings when consent is withdrawn, but whether or not you can work through those feelings together or not tells you a lot about compatibility. Also, just need to throw this out there: masochism and taking the pain and enjoying the pain is not about gritting and bearing the pain and seeing how much you can take before you break. It can be for some people in some ways, but generally it's enjoyment and it's for fun and it's satisfying. And if it's not, then maybe pain play is just not right for you, and that's okay. Like, we do not all have to be masochists. Some of us can really just enjoy that sensation of the thuddy massage of impact play, but not wanting to go to the place of pain. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So if that's where you find yourself, then own it, and that's beautiful. But yeah, don't let people do things to you that you don't want done to you because you think it's how it should be. That there are no rules. So you can have it be however you want it to be. I should say, there are no rules past consent, sane consent, intentional thinking, knowing what you're going to do, talking about it, planning it, doing it, having the ability to say no at any point and withdraw your consent. That's the basics. So hope you find that helpful. This is Leela, the Proud Poly Kinky Queer Slut. Remember, you can ask me anything, and have a great day. Proud Poly Kinky Queer Slut is art. It is made for entertainment purposes only. I am not a subject matter expert on any of the topics discussed. Please do not rely on anything presented here as fact. Think for yourself, do your own research, make your own decisions. To submit a question, please email kinkyqueerslut@gmail.com.